Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. So we've got some breaking news here. I think it's great news for the Packers. Not really surprised. We kind of hinted at it earlier today on the live stream, but I think it's awesome news in the wide receiver room with Christian Watson returning to practice. We'll show you some clips from practice. Also give you the updates on the entire injury report, as I know it's been a lot of injury conversation here lately, but it's probably the most important thing going for the Green Bay Packers season right now is how healthy will they be against the Chicago Bears on Saturday, and will it affect their playoff run? So we'll give you all the updates on Christian Watson as well as John Williams, offensive lineman. Obviously, draft pick that we have seen little to nothing of since he was drafted by the Green Bay Packers. I'm pretty sure he was drafted in the 7th round. We'll give you guys an update there. Go through the entire injury report. We'll also show you how vital Christian Watson has been to this Packers offense as well. Before we do, if you would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your afternoon. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you talking Packers on a daily basis. So if you're looking for that type of content, make sure you hit subscribe and click the bell icon so you know whenever we do hit go live for these streams in the afternoon, evening, morning, whenever it may be. Also, planned on doing Chalk Talk tonight. I got to get it finished, so there's a chance we won't have it ready by tonight. We may have to do it tomorrow. Nonetheless, we'll definitely get you that. I think we got 17 plays. A lot of negative plays in there, which are good things in my opinion. We can kind of dissect and go through and go, okay, what actually went wrong on this play, right? There's some good too. Don't get me wrong. That first half was awesome. But second half, we can kind of diagnose and break down exactly what went wrong there. So everybody in the live stream, if you would, do me a favor, hit that like button real quick. We greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into it. Christian Watson back at practice. Bill Huber tweeted out this video of Watson at practice. He also went on to say Jayden Reed is not practicing today for a personal matter. Parsons, Jacobs, Evan Williams, Zach Tom, and Josh Wiley also not practicing. Christian Watson, Dontavion Wicks, Lucas Van Ness are back. Obviously, the projection from the injury report or the practice report yesterday would have been if they had a practice yesterday and not just a walkthrough, that some of those guys would not have practiced, right? Christian Watson, Dontavion Wicks, Lucas Van Ness, all three of those are back today, even if it is in a limited fashion. But you can see Watson here. Man, I love this. This is awesome. And again, it doesn't seem like there's any chance of him re-injuring this. It doesn't sound like there's any kind of risk there involved. Great news coming out of the hospital with the chest/shoulder injury. It sounded like it was multifaceted there. I think it was just more precautionary. Probably has some discomfort after hitting the ground there in Denver. And I imagine that they wanted to just double check and make sure there was nothing internally wrong. As we know in the past, there's been lung problems, things like that. If people have cracked a rib or just landed a funny way. I remember back in the day when I think Tim brought it up the other day, I believe it was, where Randall Cobb was wearing the mock for mocked up, right? And he landed a certain way, and it done some damage to him there, right? So again, Christian Watson back in practice. I think this is great news, and not that anybody here needs any reassurance on how good Christian Watson has been this year, but just to kind of give you guys an update on where PFF has him ranked across the league. As it sits right now, here are the top receivers in the National Football League according to PFF offensive score. You got Puka Nacua at 95.4, Jackson Smith and Jigba at a 93, Amon-Ra St. Brown at a 90.6, Drake London 90.5, Jamar Chase 86, Nico Collins 85.6, and then our very own Christian Watson at an 85.4. He comes in above George Pickens from Dallas, Devontae Adams with the LA Rams, Jalen Waddle with the Miami Dolphins, Terry McLaurin of the Washington Commanders, Stephon Diggs of the New England Patriots, DeAndre Hopkins of Baltimore, and CeeDee Lamb of Dallas as well. So you can see Christian Watson, I mean, he's just a guy who's been playing outside of his mind this year. His receiving grade at 87.3, which you love to see that for Christian Watson. Again, you know, whether you consider him a jump ball guy, a one-on-one battle guy, or just someone who's got blazing speed, he's definitely got the frame to box people out. Could he be better at that? Yeah, of course. Everybody could be better at their craft. Jordan Love could throw a better ball. the offensive line damn sure could block better, right? And Christian Watson, I'm sure, wants that play back the other day too, even though the ball was underthrown on the play he got hurt. He also kind of mistimed it as well. You'd like to see him throttle down, read the ball a little bit better, box out the defender. If he throttles down and boxes out the defender has to go through him to make the play, and he almost certainly doesn't pick the ball off. But again, could have been a better ball from Love. Love couldn't step into the throw because of the offensive line. There's plenty of blame to go around. Also, you got a 2-score lead. Why are we throwing a deep shot there? Why not just hammer the run? And going back through the play calling, I've kind of removed that fault there, that complaint I have where it's like, man, we probably should have pressed on the run, because you could see, I think it was on that individual drive, you ran on first down, no gain, if I remember correctly, and then you tried the deep shot, if I remember right. It might have been third down that the deep shot happened on, but you could tell Matt LaFleur didn't just abandon the run. They started to shut the run down there a little bit, and obviously you want to take that one-on-one situation. Anytime you got Christian Watson in a one-on-one scenario, I don't care who the corner is, you're going to give your guy, you want to give your guy a shot if you've got a reasonable lead, rather than playing from behind and being too aggressive, rather than taking what the defense is giving you. But when you got a one-on-one situation like that, man coverage, I'm pretty sure it was man coverage with no safety help over the top. That is the play. That is taking what the defense gives you. You're going to take that one-on-one play. I don't care if it's Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, whoever. If you got a one-on-one situation and the safety valves, the check downs are covered up with multiple bodies, and you got a negative hack count underneath, take the shot, right? Now, again, you can design plays, maybe more of a screen pass, maybe stick with the run a little bit more, sure, but hindsight's 20/20, right? And a deep pass, you're not as concerned about them picking it off and flipping the field with a return, although, it does happen from time to time. So, again, man, really, really happy with Christian Watson, just being back on the practice field and the role he could potentially play here this Saturday against the Chicago Bears. Let's go to the chat here real quick. Biz 1987, good to see you, buddy. Says, don't know if you covered this, Clayton. I see a lot of giddy Bears fans happy about our injuries. I know every fan base has some scum, but I've been seeing it more with Bears fans recently. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I've seen it too. And, the only thing we can do, Biz, is take the high road, right? You'll always hear us say on this particular program that when even the most heated rivalry, when they have an injury, we're always going to take the high road there. We never wish injury on anybody. I don't care how bad the Packers season going, how good a rival season's going. There's just never any excuse for that. So with those people, if you see them doing it, what I would do, bookmark it, mute them so you never have to see their tweets again. And then when it pops up later, if they have an injury like that, go back to that bookmark and go, hey, bub, because I guarantee you they will complain about people making fun of them having injuries. And don't you go in there and talk trash to them. Just remind them of their tweet going, hey, man, karma, dude. Might want to change the way you look at the game. That's kind of how I handle it usually. So as Respect Orange says, some people are just natural jerks. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Appreciate you, Biz. You're the man, dude. And that's what I love what J. Cole says. This is the way you handle it. It'll make it even sweeter when we win, right? If you go out there, and this is what I've been saying all week, and listen, I've caught a little heat for this. People are like, Clayton, you think the Bears are going to win this game? I don't know. They're playing good football right now, right? I feel like the Packers are playing good football too. We just went blow for blow. We were winning by 2 scores over arguably the best team in the National Football League on Sunday. So, yeah, I feel good about how the Packers are playing, right? But if we go out there, and I've seen people already tagging me in screenshots where all the talking heads are picking the Bears to win, the Bears to win, the Bears to win. Just bookmark that stuff. Bookmark it and go, hey, man, nobody's giving us a chance to win this game, right? Except for Vegas, who's looking at the odds going, hey, this is kind of a 1.5 to 2 point game, right? But I love it. I love being the underdog in that regard. Let them talk. Bookmark it. Say, hey, man, you're probably right. But, man, if you're wrong, boy, you're going to have to eat some crow, right? That's the way I always approach it. So, or try to anyway. Let's see what Packer Doug said. Big Cat and Waddle on 670 to score in Chicago claim this is a very small minority of the fan base. I would probably agree with that, Doug. It's always a loud minority. We had a bunch of fans, but they were everywhere. Packer fans everywhere talking about how we need to fire LaFleur. LaFleur's a bum, blah, 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 right? And when I hear that stuff and I hear more and more of it, I'm like, why is this all over X? Do Packer fans really feel like this? I like to throw the poll question up. Hey, guys, honest opinion. You want to fire Matt LaFleur, yes or no? 70% said no. So, again, loud minority, right? I was kind of surprised that it cracked the 30% mark, to be honest with you, but it is what it is, right? So, that's kind of how I see it anyway. But, so moving along here, again, Christian Watson grading out as the 7th best wide receiver, going to be huge, getting him out on the field. We talked about earlier today Matthew Golden playing that speed Z in place of Christian Watson if you need him to, right? Well, now if Christian Watson, it looks like everything's leaning towards he's going to play this Sunday or this Saturday, right? So you keep Christian Watson in that Z, and everything becomes even more interchangeable, really. Watson can play the F, the Z. We've seen him play the X. What I would like to see more, and this may ruffle some feathers, but again, this is just my honest opinion. I would rather see Matthew Golden on the football field than Romeo Doubs. That's just me personally. Seeing him pick up the hand signals from Jordan on Sunday, and 2 of those 3 plays he made, he's catching everything his way. He's got way more speed than Romeo. This isn't a dig at Romeo. Romeo has been a solid receiver for the Packers. I just think it's time that Matthew Golden goes out there and plays X. I want to see Matthew Golden at the X. Not every snap. Rome should get his touches too, or should get his snaps. But I want to see Matthew Golden get more snaps at the X than Romeo Doubs if Christian Watson and Jayden Reed both stay healthy the entire game. Because essentially what's going to happen is when you go to 12 personnel, and with Josh Whyle banged up, who knows if we'll be playing much 12 personnel. But when you go to 12 personnel, I want it to be Matthew Golden and Christian Watson on the field. That's what I want to see, right? Because you've got 2 speed demons there. Now, if one has to come off, then put Christian Watson at the X and put Jayden Reed at the Z. Okay. Now, when you're in 11 personnel, the majority of the time, I want to see Matthew Golden in the X. I want to see Jayden Reed in the F, the slot, and I want to see Christian Watson in the Z. And you can interchange Matthew Golden and Christian Watson from the X to the Z if you want to showcase one of those players and their abilities. Because what it does is it gives you 2 speed guys to stretch the field vertically. And when you start to stretch the field vertically, whether you connect on those or not, that defense has to start bracket covering one of those guys and give it a little bit more help. That lightens the box for Josh Jacobs, and you're kind of off to the races on a successful day. So that's how I'm kind of seeing everything personally. And again, Romeo will get his fair share. He'll probably end up out snapping Matthew Golden. I would imagine that's the case. But that's just what I would like to see, just to kind of truly put Golden out there. And if he struggles and you get through, halfway through the second quarter, it's like, okay, we need to trust Romeo a little bit more. Then you flip those touches, right? Or you flip those snaps with Romeo, right? You can always go back to that mid game for sure. So again, like we had said, another piece of this injury news here was from Rob Domofsky, who tweeted out, it appears the Packers have opened the PUP practice window for rookie offensive lineman John Williams. This is the first time he's been on the field since he was picked in the 7th round, has practiced since he's been here. He's been dealing with a back injury. If I remember correctly, you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, I believe it was reported and confirmed he did have back surgery. So that was something that was very serious. So it's cool to see John Williams out there. Will he be playing Sunday or Saturday? Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. But you kind of open up that window. Let's see if we can get him back into the fold, because you do need some extra offensive lineman help, obviously. So there's a little update on that. And then we got the updated injury report here, and that is from Rob Domofsky once again. Christian Watson was a limited participant in practice today, and based on how he was talking afterwards, it sounds like he's playing Saturday versus the Bears. So that piece of information right there, to me, is the most important aspect. It's one thing to go, okay, he was out there, he was limited. Maybe they're just trying to ramp him up, get him ready for next week against Baltimore, test it a little bit. The fact that he's being vocal and saying he's going to be out there, I think he's going to be out there, right? He said the reason he went to the ER in Denver was to check for dislocated ribs. So there you go. That's the official reason for that. So that's good information. So what changed from the injury report yesterday? Jayden Reed was an interesting one, right? He pops up on the injury report and I go, oh gosh, here we go. Maybe the injury's worse than we thought, and they were just kind of, throwing some smoke and mirrors at the Bears, and now they're going to put him on the injury report. But it says NIR, okay, personal matter. So he wasn't on the injury report, the makeshift injury report for Tuesday. He did not participate today at practice. Has nothing to do with an injury. It's a personal matter. So that's great news there. I'm not concerned with Jayden Reed not knowing the game plan, not knowing the scheme, not knowing the playbook, not being on the same page with Jordan Love. I'm not worried about that at all, right? Another one that changed was Lucas Van Ness with the foot. He would not have participated on Tuesday. Today, limited participation. Christian Watson with the chest and the shoulder would not have participated on Tuesday. He was limited today. So I feel good about both of those guys playing on Saturday night against the Bears. Dontavion Wicks with the ankle would not have participated yesterday. He was limited today. And then, of course, you have John Williams they opened up that 21-day practice window with back injury. He was limited today. Wasn't on it yesterday, but of course they hadn't opened up that window yet. Is the reason he was not on there. So the only thing that changed, like I said, Jaden Reed, nothing to worry about there. LV and Christian Watson were both upgraded along with Dontavion Wicks, which I think is good. Good news for us. Now, let's just take a quick little gander at the Bears update. The one we're watching is Luther Burden, right? Luther Burden's been a great player for the Bears this year, great receiver, solid pick for them there in the first round. Or it might have been the second round, actually. He may have dropped a little bit, but he's playing really, really good football. Ankle injury, would not have participated Tuesday. Today, he did not participate. So to me, it seems like he's trending towards not playing. It could be a game time decision like many of these players on the Packers injury report could as well. And of course, DeAndre Swift had a groin, was not listed Tuesday and then limited today. So it sounds like DeAndre Swift might have a little bit of a groin issue that's kind of popping up. Now, obviously, they got Monangai, who's been playing great football too at the running back position. But Roma Dunze did not participate both days with the foot too. So I can't remember I don't think Roma Dunze played last week, and that's why you've seen Luther Burden kind of get a few more targets. He kind of stepped his game up, and obviously DJ Moore had a great game too. Caught that awesome pass from Caleb Williams. You know, listen, we call it out. When players play good, we'll tell you about it. When they play bad, we'll tell you about it. Caleb Williams was on one last week. One of the best games I've seen him play personally. Now, there's some people that say he should never have thrown that ball into double coverage in the back of the end zone on the run, but with the lead that they had, or the way that game unfolded, they ended up winning pretty handily there against the Cleveland Browns. I have no problem with him taking that shot right there. And again, he's got the arm talent on the run. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. That quarterback is more accurate throwing on the run across his body than he is flat-footed standing in the pocket. It's wild to watch. It really is. So, again, there is your updated injury report on the Packers-Bears in its entirety. So I want to know what you guys think in the chat. Again, I just want to get you guys a quick little update on Christian Watson. I think this is great news, great breaking news. Anytime we can go live for breaking news, it's a good day. I'm excited to see him on the field Saturday night. Really what it's looking like, guys, if you put this whole injury report in a nutshell, it's looking like Micah Parsons, right, is the main piece that you're going to be missing. And it's a huge piece, don't get me wrong. However, when you start to shift gears and look at some of the other pieces like a Zach Tom, that could be huge. Evan Williams could be huge. Those are the two that I'm really concerned about now, is Evan Williams and Zach Tom. If Zach Tom can't go Sunday, if I had to pick between those two, I think I would rather have Zach Tom out there than Evan Williams. Although, if some of you guys in the chat disagree, I understand too, because you'd rather have Evan Williams out there because the strength of the Chicago Bears team is their offense. That makes a world of sense as well. So let me know in the comments. You're watching this video back later. Let me know how you feel about that injury report. Which would you rather have back if you had to choose between two? Zach Tom starting at right tackle, or would you rather have Evan Williams starting alongside Xavier McKinney at safety as opposed to kicking Javon Bullard out at safety, who's healthy, by the way? You notice he wasn't on the injury report, and bringing Nate Hobbs into the slot. I want to hear from the chat. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, hit that like, hit subscribe, and click the bell icon so you're notified whenever we do these live streams randomly through the day. So we'll be back possibly tonight, if not tomorrow. I got to get Chalk Talk ready. So now it's time to kill the lights, get in here. And it looks like literally a dark room, like a dark film room. It's go in, break down the tape. We got to find all 17 of these plays and break everything down, get the terminology on the screen for you guys and gals. So it might be tomorrow before we can do that, but I'm going to go to work right now and risk the marriage while we do it. But appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit that like button on the way out. Spin those laces. The football's back, baby. If I see the soccer ball back in here, we're going to have problems. All right. But appreciate everybody tuning in. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
There we go.
Bye, guys.